Hey everybody, Dan Weintraub here from the Free Yourself From Yourself website and blog. This is my daily, or as much as I can do daily, video accounting of how I try not to sabotage my life, which I do anyway, but sort of my attempt. You can see I have a tan from being here in the sun in Florida. Took my kids here for a week to visit my parents. So it is Wednesday, I think that's the 21st, might be the 22nd of February, I'll have to check. Heading back up north in a couple days. Anyway, I wanted to talk a little bit about self-sabotage, which is what this entire experiment, this blog, this website, and my 8 practices, if you will, are about. I want to talk just for a second about impulses and how we and I sometimes act upon our impulses, and it is self-sabotaging. Great example. My ex-wife, lovely woman, is getting remarried. She's marrying a guy, lovely man. And I told them, we had a conversation, and I basically said, look, I don't think it's a great idea for me to come to the wedding as much as I love you guys, and I think it's wonderful for many reasons. And they agreed, yeah, for many reasons. And so I said, and I'm going to go down to Boston that weekend and coach soccer. And after that happened, this is a couple days ago, my ex called and was talking to my daughter. And so I got it stuck in my head that she was telling my daughter that me, Dad, was not coming to her wedding. And so that got stuck in my head. So now that might be total fiction. It may not have happened at all. That may not have been the conversation at all. But I got that stuck in my head. And so a few minutes later, I went into my daughter and offhandedly said, so what'd you and Mom talk about? Dumb. Like what? Like, first of all, who cares? Second of all, what business is it of mine? Third of all, I had these fears, these old fears of being left out, which is from when I was a little kid. When I was a little kid, I developed these feelings of not wanting to be left out. Being left out was a very scary thing for me, and it precipitated in the course of my young adulthood and now older adulthood very strong feelings when I feel like I'm being left out. And oftentimes I act on impulse to try and not be left out, and it's self-sabotaging. What the heck was I doing asking my daughter what she and her mom talked about on the phone? You get the picture. So the self-sabotage in this case came from my following a thought, believing what I was thinking without having any reason to really believe it, because it was just, whether it's a paranoia, whether it was a fear, something that I was scared of, an abandonment thing, whatever. I followed the impulse, I acted on the impulse ends up being self-sabotaging. Because then, my daughter's probably looking at me going, why are you asking me this? And what if I emailed my ex-wife and said, were you talking to our daughter about my not coming and we did to the wedding? What am I doing? So that's self-sabotaging. I need to, when I have an impulse, to sit back, to observe the impulse, to try and figure out where it comes from, and not to always act on it. My arm is getting really tired holding up the camera. Thank you for indulging me, and talk to you soon. Bye.